start recording. Guys, in the previous lesson, we have looked at part 2. We learned how to answer to 5 option multiple choice questions, and then we learned how to answer map labeling tasks. So I'm going to revise the structure before we start once again. So what do we need to do with 5 option multiple choice and then map labeling questions? So when we have got five option multiple choice questions, we are going to have a question and 5 options, A, B, C, D, E, yes. So step 1, first, read the instructions. Always start by reading the instructions. We are going to read the instructions and understand what we need to do. Step 2, read the question and underline the keywords, right? So there are keywords in the question. We must read it, underline, and think about how they can be paraphrased, right? So we should think about how these keywords can be paraphrased inside the question. And then the next thing we need to do is to read the options and underline the keywords and think about how they can be paraphrased in the listening as well. 4, listen carefully and wait for checkpoints. Now, guys, what are the checkpoints? When they mention something related to the topic, you must be very, very attentive, because that's a point, that's a checkpoint after which they will give the answer. Step number 5, check your answers in the end. Check, have you chosen 2 answers, or did you miss 1 answer and chose 1 only? Or if it is, I don't know, if the instructions, is it suitable for the instructions? You should check that again. You should think about it, but you will check them in the end, okay? So the next one, question, okay, I think you might want to take a picture of this one. Yeah, because I'm going to erase it. I got a picture and then I send it to the group. Actually, I think I should send it to Downtown Engine for some reason, because Engine contains more materials and it sounds so, serious. So I'm clearing the window. Now we will talk about map labeling. Okay, so map labeling, guys. So in map labeling, as the name refers, first you are going to have list of places, right? So list of places. Let's make it like this. So let's make it like 1, something, 2, something, 3, something, 4, something, and 5, something. Then you will have a map. I'm going to draw. Probably I'll be drawing. Yeah, exactly. So then you're going to have a map, and inside this map you will have A, you will have B, you will have C, you will have D, and maybe E here, and then F here, and so on. So you need to match these A, B, C, D, E, F with these numbers, okay? Now, what are the important steps? Number 1 thing you need to do first, as usual, read the instructions. Start by reading the instructions. Number 2, read the questions. So questions means numbers. Read them quickly, and if you need to underline anything, underline. If you don't have to, you don't have to underline anything. Normally, we don't have to underline anything. Then look at the map and analyze it carefully. Now, guys, this is the most important moment. A lot of students don't know one very, very big secret that teachers don't tell them. In map labeling tasks, questions are not important because they will be given in the same order. What is important is, though, the letters and the map itself, because it will be mixed up. So you have to put all of your focus on the map, okay? And you have to think about given buildings, right? Names. There are certain given names in that map. You should learn, you should analyze them, you should try to remember them carefully. You should look at landmarks. What are the landmarks? It can be a river, mountain, door, cooler, it can be anything that can help you to find the location, street name, and everything. And then you should think about how they can be described. Yesterday, I taught you how to describe places in the map on the right-hand side, to the right, on top of the map, in between, in the center of, below, above, and everything. We have learned this yesterday. You should think about these descriptions. Then, okay, so listen carefully, and choose the right letter. So you must, of course, be careful about distractors, okay? Do not choose immediately. Wait until the end. Maybe they will change their answers. And finally, 5, as soon as you find one answer, go to the next. So guys, I use the word as soon as on purpose, because as soon as shows that you must hurry, actually, right? So you found one answer, choo, go to the next one. Second, choo, go to the next one. Third, go to the next one immediately. And 6, always check your answers, okay? You must always check your answers. Like, how can you check it in map labeling? You can basically, well, in map labeling, there is not much checking, actually, but maybe if you're doing paper-based test, you may check, did I copy the letters correctly? Haven't I made a mistake? I should compare my answers. You must always check your answers, or you must think, was that what I was going to choose? Does that make sense? Haven't I missed any of the letters? If I've missed, can I guess it? You should think about these. Okay, take a picture. I'm going to send a picture as well, because we are going to move on. This was a short revision of what we learned in the previous lesson. I hope you guys, you folks all remember this. Okay, nice. Finished? Great. So as usual, we've got a very strong tradition. We learn something and then we keep practicing it until we learn it very, very well. So we are going to stick to the same tradition, and today we are going to do a lot of practice based on task 2. Okay, hold on. Nice. So the first task 2 we'll be doing, there is going to be not multiple choice, unfortunately, but we have 3 multiple choice questions, and then multiple choice questions with 3 options, with actually 7 options, and then we have got part 2, fill in the gaps. Okay, we'll be doing this one. Now, for the first one, I will show you how to do it, okay? And you can follow, you can do it together with me. This one will be sample. I will do something, and then in every step, I will explain how I did this. And in the next one, you will do it independently. And after we finish, we are going to analyze it together. I hope that makes sense. All right, folks. So let's get going. So here it goes. Cambridge 8 test 1 audio. Okay. Okay, nice. So we've got track
Together,
1.
can't we? Yes, I'm sure Tom and Kieran would enjoy that too. Good heavens. First, you have some teachers who are planning a school visit. First,
Okay, folks. So at this point, you cannot hear the audio because I haven't shared the sound yet, but now I've shared the sound. You can hear the audio.
Section 2.
Whoops. What the heck? Section 2. Okay. I think it should be working.
You will hear the education officer of a dinosaur museum giving information to some teachers who are planning a school visit.
Okay, now this introduction is very important, actually. A lot of students and teachers in Uzbekistan don't understand this, but it's the most important part, because in this introduction, we can understand the topic. The topic is dinosaur museum. So we are going to listen to the words related to the museum. That's important. And then the second thing, one education officer or somebody will be giving speech to teachers. So we will be listening as teachers, okay? That's important to remember. And then I'm going to look at the instructions. So write no more than 2 words and or a number. So I think I normally like writing it I normally like writing this one more time to remind myself always. I can write maximum of 2 words, or maybe I can write one number maximum. Maybe I can write them together if the answer is like that.
First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15.
So the first question, museum closes at PM on Mondays. I need time, I need hours, and museum is not open on. After that, we normally need days. Sorry, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but Monday is given, it cannot be the answer. School groups are met by tour guides in the, okay, it says met. Met means to meet someone, so they must meet in some place. It can be entrance, lobby, garage, park, whatever it is. The whole visit takes 90 minutes, including number minutes.
Now listen carefully.
Shut up. There are something behind the museum where students can have lunch. So there are, pay attention, it's are, so I need plural noun, maybe. And also it says where students can have lunch. So that means it must be a place where I can have lunch. Maybe it can be canteens or tables or cafes or restaurants or fast food restaurants. It can be anything. So I'll be waiting for this. Now let's listen carefully. Is everybody with me? As soon as you find your answers, write them in the chats. If you can write them before I do, then you win, guys. Okay, that's the deal. Let's see if you can surpass your teacher or not. I don't think so, but still. Okay.
And answer questions 11 to 15.
Hello, and thank you for asking me to your teachers' meeting to talk about the Dinosaur Museum and to tell you a bit about what you can do with your students there. Well, let me give you some of the basic information first. In regard to opening hours, we're open every day of the week from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. except on Mondays, when we close at 1:30 p.m.
Oh, actually, it's not 13. It should be 1:30. That's right. It's not 13, guys. I will explain the reason, because we already have got PM. When you've got PM, you don't say 13, you say 1:30. When you don't have PM, you can say 13:30 to clarify. So
I was rushing, that's why, teacher, I had a mistake, but yeah.
So 9 to 6 is wrong, because she originally said we are open every day from 9 to blah blah. This is distractor, because we are not interested in every day. We are interested in Monday, and on Monday they are open until 1:30. Let's go on.
And in fact, the only day in the year when we're closed is on the 25th of December. You can book a guided tour for your school group any time that we're open.
Perfect. So the next one is 25th December. For the sake of simplicity, you can simply write December 25. Good, great, let's go on. But I was first, I think. You didn't write it earlier than me, so let's go on. Or did you?
If you bring a school group to the museum, when you arrive, we ask you to remain with your group in the car park. One or more of the tour guides will welcome you there and brief you about what the tour will be about.
Perfect. Though you've got a mistake, guys, because car park is 2 words, okay? So car park. And I waited on this one until the end, because do not rush, do not hurry. They can be, when you get the answer, remember the answer, but listen, because they can be distractor, okay?
We do this there because our entrance is quite small and we really haven't got much room for briefing groups in the exhibition area. As far as the amount of time you'll need goes, if you bring a school group, you should plan on allowing a minimum of 90 minutes for the visit. This allows 15 minutes to get on and off the coach, 45 minutes for the guided tour, and 30 minutes for after-tour activities.
Hey, kiddos. Those who wrote 15 minutes, it's wrong. It's wrong. Shirzad aka, Botter, Zainab Begum, you've been tricked.
And then I wrote 45.
Yeah, I saw. It's 45 minutes because you didn't pay attention to the keyword. It was guided tour, right? 45
it's
minutes for the
distracting.
guided tour. And also sometimes, guys, use your logic, right? So guided tour is the most important part of the museum tour. And they how can they spend 90 minutes in the whole visit and then 15 minutes on guided tour? It doesn't make any sense. It's just like you say, I am going to cinema today. I will be there for 2 hours, but watch film for 10 minutes. Nah, that doesn't work.
If you're going to have lunch at the museum, you will of course have to allow more time. There are 2 cafes in the museum with seating for 80 people. If you want to eat there, you'll need to reserve some seating, as they can get quite crowded at lunchtime. Then, outside the museum at the back, there are tables, and students can bring their own lunch and eat it there in the open air.
Hey, Elmira, gotcha.
Why you are
So
rushing, teacher?
I wasn't rushing. I just wrote, then I deleted, I waited. I wasn't rushing. If it's my final answer, I press escape and I cannot edit.
But you wrote whatever you wrote.
Just in case. Okay. Oh, okay, Water. Do I sense a threat? Do I sense a criticism in your speech?
No.
No? Okay, good. So the correct answer is tables. I think everybody got why it is tables, right? Good, perfect. Shahla, you're not active today. What's going on? You're okay? Do you understand what we're talking about?
Yes. But I'm not hurry for writing because I'm trying to listen until the end. That's why, maybe.
Okay, good. Elmira, I'm using phone. If I start chat open, I can't hear the listening audio. Poor Elmira, you need to buy a laptop. You need to have a computer, guys. Come on, we are living in the 21st century. You need a laptop, nation.
We don't like using laptops. That's why.
No, it's not about like or don't like. It's basically like saying, let me see. It's hard to describe. Like, basically, do you say like, I don't like fire, so I'm not going to use fire to cook. Like it's something like that. That how are you going to cook? Like you need a laptop because it makes your job easier. Okay, and I cannot imagine, guys, how you don't like looking at the laptop, but you like this. How? Oh, what the heck? Oh, what is that? How can you like this if you don't like the laptop? Okay, just jokes, but okay, but you guys definitely need laptops, okay? Because you're young, you've got potential. If you want to learn anything in the long run, you definitely need a laptop. Buy a laptop. Did I tell you that recently I've been hired by HP as an advertiser? So that's why I'm making all my students buy like laptop, HP. Good. Okay, hold on a second.
Benim telefon var.
Okay, so let's go.
64-86.
What? What the?
No, I'm sorry, teacher.
I'm gonna kill you next time. So let's go on. It's like, guys, every time somebody needs to have these ehtiyot bo'ling, eshiklar yopiladi. Keyingi bekat Oybek. Everybody needs to do it at least once. So, all right. Questions 16 to 18. So we need to
It's
choose
our
three letters.
tradition.
Tradition, exactly. Let's go on.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 16 to 20.
So these questions are easy. The first question says, which 3 things can students have them in the museum, right? And then food, water, cameras, books, bags, pens, worksheets. Let's think about how they can be paraphrased, how they can say, you can have it in the museum. Maybe they can say, children can bring with themselves, or when they're at the museum, children can use their own, right?
And
So
take.
Yeah, they can have possible. So food, they can have their own meals, or they can have their own lunch packs, right? Or they can bring hamburger. This also means food. Water, children don't need to buy water. I don't know how it can be paraphrased. Maybe they can say drinks, but drink is not water. So cameras, children are allowed to use their own phone cameras, maybe H2Os and everything. That's the next level. You've read chemistry for sure. Books, children can have, maybe they can say children can use their own textbooks, or I don't know, bags. Maybe they can say children can bring their own sacks or rucksacks or bags, school bags, pens. They can use their own items to write, or they can use their own pens to write. I don't think pens can be paraphrased. Worksheets. Children can have their own worksheets. Children can use special, I don't know, can make up their own papers and then use it on their own. So these are some versions of these can be paraphrased, and we must think about it. 19 and 20. Which two activities can students do after the tour at present? And pay attention to the keyword. So we must find activities, right? It should be two, and then it should be done after the tour, and it should be present. They can sometimes tell about past, future, but we should focus on present. Build model dinosaurs, watch films, draw dinosaurs, find dinosaur eggs, play computer games. Let's go on, folks. Best of luck. Okay. So, okay, the first question was, 3 things can students have with them in the museum? Is it food, water, cameras, books?
Now listen and answer questions 16 to 20.
That's ready. I'll wait for your answers.
When the students come into the museum foyer, we ask them to check in their backpacks with their books, lunchboxes, etc. at the cloakroom before they enter the museum proper. I'm afraid in the past we have had a few things gone missing after school visits, so this is a strict rule. Also, some of the exhibits are fragile, and we don't want them to be...
At this point, if you didn't understand why I crossed out bags and books, when we arrive at the foyer, children are asked to check in with their bags and books in the cloakroom. Cloakroom is the place where you give in your belongings before entering into library or museum or cinema, okay? Remember, maybe you might want to write down this vocabulary. It's cloakroom. Cloak. See, okay. Cloakroom. Something like this, yes.
Is it possible to underline in city?
Yes, it is. It's possible to highlight, not underline, but you can highlight. Okay, so cloakroom. Cloakroom, okay, I think everything is okay. Let's go on.
Accidentally knocked. But we do provide school students with handouts with questions and quizzes on them. There's
So I crossed out worksheets because they are provided. They don't bring their own things.
so much that students can learn in the museum, and it's fun for them to have something to do. Of course, they'll need to bring something to write with for these. We do allow students to take photographs. For students who are doing projects, it's useful to make some kind of visual record of what they see that they can add to their reports. And finally, they should not bring anything to eat into the museum or drinks of any kind. There are also a few things that students can do after the tour.
I guess everybody got why I chose cameras and pens. B and F is wrong. Guys, you chose B. It's definitely wrong because also they should not bring anything to eat and drink. They should not bring
Teacher, there is 3 answers.
Yep.
Oh, so sorry. So sorry. Did they say they should not bring anything to eat or... Okay, let's listen to this part again. Maybe I missed something.
For students who are doing projects, do much that students with etc. at the cloakroom before they enter the...
Now listen.
When the students come into the museum foyer, we ask them to check in their backpacks with their books, lunchboxes, etc. at the cloakroom before they enter the museum proper. I'm afraid in the past we have had a few things gone missing after school visits, so this is a strict rule. Also, some of the exhibits are fragile, and we don't want them to be accidentally knocked. But we do provide school students with handouts with questions and quizzes on them. There's so much that students can learn in the museum, and it's fun for them to have something to do. Of course, they'll need to bring something to write with for these. We do allow students to take photographs. For students who are doing projects, it's useful to make some kind of visual record of what they see that they can add to their reports. And finally, they should not bring anything to eat into the museum or drinks of any kind.
Perfect. Okay. So it's FCG. Like, I thought that the question meant like which 2-3 things can students have with them, their own things, but it turns out like anything that they can have in the museum. So worksheets are included. Also, the museum provides them. It is also something that students can have in the museum. That's why it's going to be FCG. Okay, let's go on. Next one.
There are also a few things that students can do after the tour. In the theaterette on the ground floor, there are continuous screenings of short documentaries about dinosaurs which they can see at any time. We used to have an activity room with more interactive things like...
So there is a screen of dinosaurs they can watch anytime, watch films. This is going to be the first one.
Like making models of dinosaurs and drawing and painting pictures, even hunting for dinosaur eggs. But unfortunately, the room was damaged in a bad storm recently when water came in the roof, so that's closed at the moment. But we do have an IT centre where students have access to CD-ROMs with a range of dinosaur games. These games are a lot of fun, but they also...
So I think you generally got the idea why I chose E and B, because, well, they said watching films, I've explained at the beginning, she said students can watch dinosaurs films, it's always played. And then the second thing was, she said, we had a room where they could build model dinosaurs, draw them, and even find their eggs. But however, in a recent storm, the room was badly damaged. Now you cannot use it. So they can play computer games in our IT room. So the correct answer is going to be E. So let's check this once again. We've got 1:30 December 25 car park, 45 tables, and then FCG and B, E. Perfect. Questions?
No.
Yeah, great. By the way, Elmira, nice glasses. Are they against the light? Not light, but screen light? Oh, good. Yeah, I like using such kind of glasses too. Sometimes it's worth actually. It stops your eye from getting damaged. Giovanni's, yours are like that, or are they for vision?
Vision.
Oh, you know, actually, you can buy double, both for vision and for that one. Actually, it will be triple because, for instance, mine is not only against computer light, but if I go out, it turns into a dark one. Admit yours is triple, so it can be dark, dark glass. It can be a sunglass. It can be protection. It can be vision. Gosh. How much did you pay for it? You can just, yeah, you can say it by a microphone. 200,000 sums. Okay, that's actually cheaper than, no, not cheaper. How much have I paid? Oh yeah, that's cheaper than what I paid. I paid more than 300,000 sums, but mine is double. That's unfair. I need something for vision too, but I see well, but I need something for vision just to make it triple. Okay guys, we've got less than 1 minute. Yeah. So I am going to renew the conference, then we'll continue. It will be your turn, guys.